Well, sometimes it feels like it's difficult to find a horror film that you haven't seen, but I got to go out on a little bit of a limb here. Have you seen The Pope's Exorcist?
No.
Okay.
For those that didn't see it, I nodded my head all around.
Yeah, it was a little bit
frustrating,
of a
like
seizure. You kind of seemed possessed.
Meant to make him look like more frustration, but
that's fine. We'll get you caught up.
Let's watch this stupid thing. You know, you gave me a choice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a choice.
It was.
Oh.
No, it was.
Well, I mean, the second choice was a choice.
If you were...
You gave me an out the second. But the first one, not really a choice.
Listen, had you had why can't I think of the right word? It's not telepath. The psychic abilities that I thought you had.
Just let me Professor X you here.
Yeah. Then in actuality, it would have been all the choice that one needed. Yet
we would have watched one of my movies.
Yet you dropped the ball.
Yes. Well, my latent X gene has yet to kick in.
Yeah. Damn. Sucks to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
Apparently we're the B team.
I don't know why you're so bent out of shape. It's been so long since I've shown you a proper horror film. You don't got to be pissy.
Yeah. And this one was not bad. Like, there's no jump scares in this.
There's no real jump scares. There's a couple of scares that, like, had you been watching this in a theater and you hadn't... I think there's moments, had you not gone through the Conjuring series with me, I think there's maybe a moment or two in this that would have got you.
I don't think so.
No?
No. So... Before we watch this, you said there was another film on your list that is in the horror genre, but but it's a Steven Spielberg film, so you were like, it's not really that horror.
The Poltergeist.
Yeah, I would put this kind of in that, like, this barely meets horror standards. To me, and I'll save it. You give your initial impression, and then I'll say what I want to say.
Okay,
because it's more of an initial impression.
Okay. So initial impression. I really like this movie. I don't think this movie is without its flaws. There's a couple of things that I'll nitpick a little bit for sure. But I think this movie has just got a good blend. Again, yeah, I don't find it scary. I think there's some upsetting scenes. Not necessarily in the sense, like, there's movies out there that I find upsetting. I don't find this movie upsetting. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't get uncomfortable. Right. But there's scenes that, like, I can recognize, oh, this is an upsetting scene. But I think it's a nice blend between supernatural horror / thriller mixed in with some really solid effort in terms of lore, in terms of backstory, in terms of depth of characters, backstory of characters. Everyone there's got something going on as to who they are. You get to know everyone a little bit. It's just fun and really, although we're kind of in this, like, a sequel has been greenlit, but there hasn't been a ton of movement on it, really. I just love that this movie ends and you're like, oh shit, we're setting up a franchise, son. Like we are, and
we're going after the other lords of hell.
And I'm on board. I'm like, okay, like this is because you've set up a great premise with, this abbey is built on top of to cover up and sort of deal with one of the landing sites of one of the fallen angels, which, it not surprisingly creates a pretty dark, nasty, evil spot you wouldn't want to be. As the film says, a place where God is not welcome.
Right.
They build this abbey in an attempt to
consecrate the grounds.
Deal with that. Turns out didn't really work all that swell. But no, I think it's a fun film and not without its issues, but a fun film, and I really like it. What were your thoughts?
So yeah, this is like horror light. There's not a lot of, it has like the makings of what a horror film, but it really almost blurs the line into what makes a good monster film. But because of there is a very supernatural satanic element, it does kind of bleed back the other way into that kind of horror genre, like what we had watched with the Conjuring universe.
Yeah.
That being said, what I was gonna say before the initial impression started was this feels more like the Da Vinci Code or a National Treasure on crack.
It's got those elements
with very demonic crap going on.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what it feels like more than a horror film.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And that yeah. So and all that being said, it was a fun film.
Yeah.
And that'll be my initial impression.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We start talking about the negative stuff, and then we'll.
Sure.
I've got like 1.5 negative things.
Okay.
Because one is a subjective thing, and so I can say that, pretty confidently, pretty firmly.
Okay.
The second one, I'm like, is more of a dubiousness, but a dubiousness that I will back up by saying, at the same time, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, and so I.
Okay.
So my actual solid critique is CGI is used very sparingly in this film.
Yeah.
When we do get CGI, it's not the biggest budget CGI.
Yeah.
The CGI is not amazing.
The only time I think it really showed its face in an ugly way in terms of CG was the bird. I thought the bird felt.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. The bird felt animated.
Like her biting the head off the bird?
No, like when the bird's flying around, like when the flashback of him as a soldier and the bird's flying around there, and other points where the bird is kind of unnaturally, like an actual bird wouldn't be flying this close to a person. Like,
right.
And it's not.
Well, but it's a divine, the bird sent there by God.
Yes. But we're talking about CG.
Yeah.
That's a CG bird.
Sure.
It felt.
I didn't notice that at all. Yeah, that's wild.
It wasn't enough to pull me out, but it was. I felt it was kind of obvious. What CG are you?
So there's a couple of moments where the demon, whether it's Father Amorth or it's Henry or it's whoever, there's a couple of moments where the devil does sort of this like unnatural stretching of the jaw thing.
Right. Yes.
And that was done with CGI. Yeah.
That felt almost Army of the Dead.
And it wasn't great.
CG.
Yeah. And then the only other is the sort of mess of CGI right at the end as they're like praying that the king of hell
the
back
pool.
into the pooly fiery. That wasn't great.
Yeah.
Whatever. But in a film like this, where everything else is done fairly practically, bad CGI, or not, just kind of like, oh, that's CGI, can pull you out a little bit from what has otherwise been a fairly immersive experience. So the CGI is my one solid critique. My other critique is, the Pope's Exorcist. So Father Amorth, real dude, right? Sure. Real, actually the
historical figure.
Yeah, actually the chief exorcist of the Vatican. Up
Wrote
until
some
his
books.
death.
Apparently they're good.
Apparently the books are good. And so I think the film is either, I don't know if it's just real guy fictional story, real guy true story, real guy loosely based on true events. Like I don't know where things fall in terms of that.
Have to read the books.
Would have to read the books. And then even then form your own opinions, right? But there's a couple of things that happen, like sort of at the crux of this possession, right? Like when Father Amorth gives in and becomes possessed. The one moment where I was like, I'm dubious, is the bleeding of the hands of Christ inside the chapel at the Vatican, right?
His turning causes that to happen.
Well, just that, like, look, I could wrap my head around. I have no problem. 100% hands down, I'm on board with the fact that, you know what, an abbey built on top of one of the landing sites of a fallen angel, that building an abbey there in order to kind of cover up the ugly could fail, and that could be a real nasty spot where, quote unquote, God is not welcome.
Right.
For a demonic entity to have influence or be able to physically affect things within a chapel at the Vatican, I was a little like,
oh, you think the demon was causing that?
Causing the bleeding hands?
I don't know if that's how I think I kind of thought that at first too.
Yeah.
But looking back on it, maybe it's
you think
possible
God's doing it?
Yeah, because you
could be.
I don't know a lot about Catholicism, but that's a thing when people kind of bleed from the hand, like people do it, or statues do it,
like a manifestation of the Holy Spirit.
And it's not normally a demonic, considered a demonic thing. It's usually like God kind of weeping,
right?
God,
and that's my like I said, I follow this up entirely by saying I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, because
from what I know, the Bible is, what the Bible, which is considered the sort of it's the book on Christian faith, is nothing if not pretty damn vague when it comes to Lucifer and the fallen angels. And you get a little bit of stuff in Revelation. That's where the majority of it is. You get a little bit elsewhere, but it's really kind of vague. And the majority of what we know or we think we know, or the majority of the lore surrounding it, comes from either incidences like this, where exorcists and whoever else have gotten field knowledge and field experience, or in other ancient texts outside of the Bible.
Right. So like what we consider the Bible, like the King James version of the Bible, there are several other texts and sort of biblical writings that some have considered should be in it, and some that others say that aren't. And there's a whole bunch of writings from Christian people over the ages, both Old Testament and New Testament, that aren't in the Bible. So those things could dive more into it than what we have in
and even
modern day Bible.
I mean, I feel like this is going to be, because anyway. I don't know if we'll ever review. Because you and I have both seen it, and so it sort of falls outside of the parameters of our series here. I don't know that we'll ever have a chance to sit down and review Da Vinci Code.
Well, we've already watched it together, so. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is we haven't reviewed it, right?
Right.
So like some of the things that we would discuss in terms of canonical whatever is I feel like some of that's going to get pulled into this episode.
Maybe a little bit. Sorry, I'm just going to jump back real quick. I looked up. It's called stigmata when they get that bleeding of the hands and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And ChatGPT, just looking at ChatGPT because ChatGPT
isn't that like a defect of the eye?
Yeah. ChatGPT says the religious significance is that it is seen as a visible sign of the mystical union with the suffering of Christ. So if you're looking at that scene, it's kind of this man of God is suffering and sacrificing himself.
Right.
So then Christ is kind of God is pouring himself out.
Right. Okay.
In a mystical way to
sure.
Kind of
so in that case, if that were to happen anywhere, it's going to be in the chapel at the Vatican. Yeah. Now, this is something you've talked about this on this show. I really haven't talked about it, not out of shame, but just out of, for the same reason I haven't really talked about, like, when Pete and I created the podcast, we kind of set out a rule. It's like, we're not really going to talk about politics on the show.
Right.
We're not, we tried to be extremely sparing when we talked about COVID because we're like, we want to be an escape from all that crap. We want to, you
don't want the podcast to be a divisive place.
We don't want it to be a divisive place
where everybody's welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So this is something that I haven't really talked about a lot, but this sort of feels like an episode where it makes sense for me to give a little bit of backstory just for the context of the comments I'm going to make on the stuff in this film. I am a believer. I think you know that.
You put on a good show if you're not.
I am also a skeptic. Which I think is I feel pity for anyone who's not a skeptic in life. I think you should question everything, and because if you're not questioning things and doing your own research and doing your own whatever, then you're just a blind. You're just going, oh, okay, sure, yeah, all right.
Who's more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him?
That sounds good. Sure, I'll do that. Right. So I'm a believer, but I'm also a skeptic when it comes to everything. It doesn't matter what someone tells me, right? Like, hey, I had tuna for lunch. Did you though?
Or was it just dog food called tuna?
Yeah. Or was it just mayo? Was it like mayo on a sandwich?
Was it like you go to? I had an all beef patty from McDonald's.
Was it?
Yeah, but McDonald's owns a company called All Beef.
All Beef. Yeah. So anyway, my perception, my faith has changed dramatically over the years. As does, and again, if you are a believer and your faith has never changed, you still believe everything the exact same way that you believed it when you were 8 in Sunday school, you're an idiot. Because the way you understood things when you're 8 in Sunday school, like if your brain has not...
Things are more black and white back then.
If your brain and your faith has not evolved since then I don't know what you're doing. But Christianity, like the church, sort of, I mean, obviously you have like 1,004 different denominations, and amongst those, obviously you have different beliefs and different interpretations and different X, Y, Z, because if you didn't, they wouldn't be different denominations. It would all be one church. But a lot of the churches as a whole have changed and adapted and evolved over. That's a funny word to use describing the church, evolved. But have evolved over time, and even like really significantly in the last, I'm going to say 20 years, right? In that you have 20 years ago, I would say 95% of the church, at least the churches that I were aware of, were very much all young earth, right? All of the churches were, the earth's about 6,000 years old, because if you follow the chronology in the Bible, blah blah blah. Well, we got the family tree here, and we've done the math, and we've looked at the ages, and and the earth is about 6,000 years old. Jump forward 20 years, and I would say that maybe 15% of Christianity goes, yeah, we still think the earth is 6,000 years old. Because a lot of Christian scientists, yes, that's a thing, a lot of Christian theologists, a lot of whatever have gone, okay, there is some pretty solid, irrefutable, solid evidence that the earth is not 6,000 years old.
I don't think the number is as drastic as you say it was, like 15% still. I believe young earth. I think it's a lot higher than that.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
yeah.
So
there's a whole like young earth society
sure.
believers in the States. They built a life-size ark and
right. Yeah, the John Hams.
Yeah.
So anyways, as a kid, I believed the earth was 6,000 years old because that's what they were teaching us. I very much now do not think the earth is 6,000 years old. I just don't. I think it's ludicrous. I do believe in evolution is observable. It is a thing that has natural selection is observable. Now, I don't, and I'm going to so many puns here. Crucify me. I don't believe that humans evolved from apes. There are some fossil, but there is that 1% skepticism in me because there are fossils out there. We have found skeletons, we have found skulls, we have found whatever of like half human, half ape. Like there's a lot of stuff out there.
We have found partial pieces of skulls and jawbones, and we haven't found full things.
Isn't Lucy a full skull?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. But so anyways, we've found a lot of things, right? But I'm a skeptic on both sides because I think that the Shroud of Turin probably is the real deal. But I also question, X, Y, Z. The other big thing that has changed significantly in Christianity. Carl's looking up something on his phone, but he's probably going to want to listen to this because it may be something he disputes. One of the big things that have changed in Christianity is 20 years ago. Oh, do you not know of the Shroud of Turin?
That's
what
that's all that's left of Lucy.
That's fine.
There's not a lot there.
But still, it doesn't match any modern apes and it doesn't match modern humans. No. It kind of matches somewhere in between, right?
It could be something in between. It could be something completely different than when I
something's up. Yeah. We don't know. But you know about the Shroud of Turin.
I know about the Shroud of Turin. Yeah, Dead Sea Scrolls. Yeah,
and that it was highly disputed. It had been proven to be
the same. Those aren't
connected. No. It had the Shroud of Turin had been proven to be a fake, and then recently they've been able to run more advanced, better testing on it as technology evolves, and now all of the scientists, all of the atheist scientists, are going, Obviously, we don't think that this is the resurrection cloth of Christ because we don't think Christ was resurrected. We don't think, blah, blah, blah.
We don't know what it is.
However, we don't know what the hell this is. we can't explain this at all. We don't even have a guess.
Yeah.
But
they
like,
can't claim the first one because it
goes against what they believe.
Everything that they're trying to disprove. Yeah. but they can't claim the other way because they don't have an answer.
But one of the other big changes in Christianity in the last, I don't know, I want to say I only started hearing about it really in the last 5 years, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't just out of touch and it hasn't been around much longer. You know, when I was a kid growing up, it was just kind of the, you know, it went without saying, sugar is sweet, and the Bible is 100% cover to cover a historical document, right? Old Testament, New Testament, these things happened word for word the way it says it happens in this book. In the last, I don't know how long, among many denominations, the perception has kind of shifted to, okay, the New Testament, yes, 100%. New Testament, cover to cover, this is a historical document, right? And there's people far smarter than I than I am, and far more learned that can explain this better and the reasoning behind it, and why even much of the church is going, it would make sense that a lot of, maybe not all of, but a lot of the Old Testament is more poetry and symbolism and what's the word that they use? Not metaphor.
Hyperbolic.
A little bit, right? Sort of like a gathering of the three.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and that it's not necessarily. That there's some that it's more symbolic and symbolism and stories that were told for specific reasons.
I would agree that there's definitely a movement going in that direction within we'll call it just the North American church, because that's what was familiar. Sure. Who knows what's going on in Africa and Asia, yeah, I would say that that's, again, not a vast segment.
And I don't know. We don't know numbers.
Well, like,
right?
one of the...
Who knows?
Like, I think as much as people, like, we're realizing that stories like Job, the book of Job loses everything because God and the devil make a bet, essentially. Yeah. That book is kind of seen like as poetry. Yes. It's like, this is a story told, a parable. Yeah. Yeah. Could it be factual?
It might not be, but it doesn't take away from the meaning of it.
But other books in the Bible of Old Testament are being found to be more factual as time goes on as well. So some are being seen one way, some are, because I don't know what book it's found in, but there's the Old Testament mentions the city of Ur. Are you familiar with this? Yeah. City of Ur is like, for a long time, people are like, this city never existed. It's not. Skeptics, atheists always
we've found
pointed
traces
to it.
of it now,
and we have found Ur. Ur exists. Yeah, we found the.
So it's stuff like that I'm like 100%. But maybe some of the stories that take place surrounding that city, right? Just because the city's actually there doesn't necessarily mean that it's
things happen the way they
right.
happen.
Like Daniel in the lion's den, or better example. It is in no way foundational to Christianity, and I'm not going to scoff at anyone if they go, I don't know if Jonah was actually swallowed by a fish. Like, I don't know, right? I'm like, no, me neither. Like, but so anyways, all of that's neither here nor there, but I am a skeptic, right? So going into all the things we're about to talk about, I am a huge skeptic. I'm one of those guys that goes, Yeah, but it's been translated 100 times. And there's actually some really great stuff that you can find online of people who are intelligent about the way language worked when it was written, and how we all need to, like, even if you take,
there's constant debates even within believers about.
Yeah, even if you don't look at the translations, even if you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, you still can't just translate this stuff word for word and then apply our modern meanings for those words to the text, because things meant different things.
I get what you're saying, because I just watched a video today on YouTube about how they were talking about going into how in the Old Testament, Genesis, and the book of, and talking about creation, when Eve was created from Adam. Right. What did God use to create Eve from Adam with?
The dirt and the rib.
So this video is breaking down the original word, the original Greek or Hebrew word, like way back word, actually meant something different in other portions of text. And it's like it actually meant half of or part of. Right. And at some point through the ages, people started using that word for rib or something like that, and that just became the nomenclature, and that's how we got rib. But it kind of was, the video was kind of saying, like, there's a potential that what actually happened was there was a whole being, and from that whole being, Adam was created. He was split into two beings. Gross. Now you have Adam and you have Eve.
Who knows?
But like, if God created everything, then of course there's no reason he couldn't create two from one.
But these things spawn all kinds of then wild misconceptions too, right? Because I remember growing up, people would talk all the time. I'm pretty sure I heard this in Sunday school, right? Where they would talk about, God took the, blah, blah, blah. And that's why, and this is proven. You can see the evidence of it today. And that's why men have one fewer rib than women do. Except we don't. Mm-hmm. Look at any skeleton, any x-ray of any, we have the same number of ribs, right? So it's stuff like that where you're like, okay, it spawns these like wives' tales and misconceptions that then perpetuate, I'm also one of those guys that 100% hands down goes, you've got divinity and you've got the influence of this, that, and the other thing, but it's also hard to ignore the fact that like 75 books, give or take, were rejected at the Council of Nicaea.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, 75 books. 75 books where the guys in the church, the guys who are forming this religion, look at these books and go, we don't want those to be canon.
Well, and this is, so I've been, sorry, I'm just going to jump in here. Don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no.
This is really interesting stuff because...
Welcome to the Bible Talk show.
Yeah, we're talking about the Bible stuff.
I mean, it's a movie about the Pope, Exorcist, and
I love listening to videos or podcasts, whatever, about apologists, either debating or talking about or talking with people who are asking them a bunch of questions.
Yeah, the guys that show up on like a Mormon campus. And
essentially, like, for those not in the know of what that is, a apologist in the Christian faith is just somebody who is so steeped in the facts of how things were written and the
sometimes they just know the text inside and out and are doing wordplay.
But the good ones know more than just the text. They know the history. They know the verbiage, like not just the verbiage.
They're athletic biblical debaters.
Yeah,
is essentially what they are.
Yeah. So I've been listening to one I've been listening to recently is a guy named Wes Huff. He's a Canadian guy from out west, and like he was kind of getting into some of this stuff about. He was talking to somebody about like all these other books that aren't in the Bible, but like they're written by people like they seem like gospel, New Testament, Old Testament,
like Mary, like Mary Magdalene.
So he was saying like when the council got together, they didn't include everything, but they didn't throw everything out.
No,
right? They just said, okay, this is what we know is the gospel and know is the Old Testament.
Yeah.
These other things, they're good teachings, but we're skeptical about whether they're God's word.
I mean,
so, and they did, apparently they did like chuck some out the window and like, hey, this is very obviously not something we want to be part of the religion. It's not of God, but these things are close, but not quite.
I mean, and that's where my skepticism comes in, right? Because I hear all that, and my response or my brain instantly goes to, okay, yeah, but says who, right? And I what I love about again, I love the Tom Hanks Da Vinci Code series, and the third one's not great, but Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons I think are great entertainment. And I take them just as that, as entertainment. However, when Ian McKellen says that, they at this council, the Council of Nicaea, they discarded any book that made Jesus seem less divine. And I'm sitting there going, I could understand how that would be your motives. I could understand how if you were forming a religion and the goal was to take this Jesus character and make him as divine as possible, anything that seemed to contradict that, you would not include because that would be counterproductive. And I'm like, okay, cool, but right now I'm trusting the word of a room full of men 2,000 years ago, and I'm going, Right. So it's all of that stuff.
So we don't know the motives of those men.
We don't know the motives
we
of
also
the men.
don't know the, like, my assumption would be that they were very intelligent, very well read, like understood not the concepts, trying to think of the right word, the ins and outs of who wrote them, why they wrote them, the context of why they were written, right? Like a lot of people look at the four gospels.
Yeah.
Matthew, we are Mark, Luke, so off the film.
Yeah. We have 5 minutes to come back to the film.
Okay. They look at the four gospels and they go, oh, they contradict each other. Well, not really. That's like having, if you took 4 newspapers reporting on the same event, if they were all identical, then that's plagiarism.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to approach, like, if you take CNN and Fox and you look at what they're reporting on the day's events of Donald Trump.
Right.
Donald Trump didn't do anything different. He did the same thing. It's two different points of view sharing what they perceived happened to a specific audience. And that's like Matthew was a Jewish person telling Jewish people, hey, look, the guy we've been waiting for came and did his thing, and this book lays it out for you.
Yeah. My thought,
and the other books kind of do the same.
So before we got to get back to this film, but my thought
this is not what people are here for.
my thought on that has always been that I believe that God is perfect and divine and what have you, right? All the adjectives. Yep. I believe that the church is flawed and corrupt because it is run by man who is flawed and inherently there's corruption, right? Not that all church is bad all the time, but there are significant issues that many of which have come to light over the years, and I think just as much, if not more, has not. Right, and that's just kind of is what it is. And
unless it was demons.
And for me, my thoughts go, well, I think it's wildly naive to believe that corruption and that biases and that flawedness came into the church sometime after the Council of Nicaea. That the selection of books that made it in was not also victim to that corruption. And I also 100%, and there's no one on this earth that could convince me otherwise, that, yeah, I mean, the church, it's in this film, it's in Da Vinci Code, and in my head, it's just common sense. Over the years, whether it's the Catholic Church, now I think the Catholic Church takes a lot of the heat because the Catholic Church is like the oldest. Mm-hmm. It's which is so funny that we Protestants look at the Catholic Church and go like, oh yeah, the crazy practices of the Catholic Church, and I'm like, they literally are the guys. It's like, you're all the splinter group. You're the ones that were like, we're gonna do our own thing, and you're looking at these guys going, they don't know what they're talking about. But there's been cover up. For sure, 100% there has been cover-up. What I love about the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons is that I am 100% convinced that there are things within you can't look at this, you don't even know that this room of the Vatican archive exists, that would blow people's socks off. And I'm not saying.
Have you seen Warrior Nun?
I have.
It kind of gets into that a little bit too.
And I'm not saying that this is the case. I'm not saying that the Da Vinci Code is real. I'm not saying I believe the Da Vinci Code is real. The facts, as I see them, are that the Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown, when he wrote the Da Vinci Code, and he was sued, he was sued several times, a couple times successfully, a couple of times unsuccessfully. Some of the unsuccessful ones were the research and the studies, the philosophers that were doing research that yielded those answers and those results as are presented in the Da Vinci Code. And they tried to sue him, and the judge was basically like, look, you guys wrote nonfiction research. This guy took that research and wrote a piece of fiction about it. So you can't sue him, right? So, but Dan Brown wasn't just pulling this stuff out of his ass. And there's not a person on this earth that could convince me that it is 100% impossible that if Jesus had had a wife, right? Like that if the story, the way it's presented in the Da Vinci Code, if that were in fact the case, I believe all of the events that precede that, of the church not wanting people to know that, of wanting to keep the divinity of Christ intact, 100% they could have and might have done that. So that's not me saying they did.
Da Vinci Code is just a less funny version of Dogma.
and that's not me saying they did. That's
you
just
seen Dogma?
I have.
Yeah.
That's just me pointing out this skeptic side of me. So anyways, I love this movie. I love that they ground the events that are happening in, this is a place that, this is a place where even God doesn't have as much influence as he does elsewhere. That the priest has got more of an uphill battle than usual. Mm-hmm. Because not only is he not on holy ground, he is on unholy ground. He is on the unholiest of earth soil. He is as close to trying to perform an exorcism in hell as he possibly could be.
They enter that last chamber and they're like, we're in hell.
We're getting close. Well, he says we're getting closer
to
too, right? And they're like the smell of sulfur, right? And that presents an interesting that wherever these 200 angels landed, it probably created, like it would have, because the angels are going to land and through there they're going to go to hell, right? And so their landing place has to inherently have created some sort of gateway or portal or whatever to the kingdom of of burnt weenies. But I love that. I love that they took the time and energy to bake in some research, right? To do their research and go, okay. Because it would have been very easy to go, family moves into a house, creepy shit in the basement.
Send in the exorcist.
Priest has to come, perform an exorcism. It's evil for the sake of evil. And I love that they don't do that.
Right.
I also love that on top of this lore, you also have this added story of like all these commentaries on like younger generation in the church that are trying to modernize the church and want to do away with and sort of downplay.
We don't want to talk about evil because people don't like it.
No, yes, the church, the congregation is asking us to be, more relevant. And
more happy-go-lucky.
Yeah,
more like a storybook.
And Russell Crowe's okay, that's cool, but like
Sunday school stories.
Yeah, that's cool, but also the evil that's out there doesn't give two shits about your congregation's requests, right? Like it all this stuff doesn't cease to exist because we stop believing in it. We just let our defenses and our guards down if you try to tell me I can't do my job anymore. Russell Crowe is incredible in this.
Yeah.
He's so good. His accent is really good. Like, at no point do you not buy this is, this is a guy sent from...
It's also, this is like, to me, this feels like, in terms of the casting, feels very like a normal scary movie casting, because outside of like one person, I don't know anybody.
Well, it's low budget, right? And I think in horror there's a benefit to that, right? Because something happens where and Russell Crowe's able to pull this off, and it doesn't hurt it because he's Russell Crowe and he's wonderful and he did a great job with the character. But if you did a horror film, like to laugh in the face of the horror casting we did where we casted all well-known actors.
Sure.
If you do a horror film and your horror film is for A-list celebrities, it pulls you out of it. I feel like it makes the film less scary because you're like, this is the same guy that was in this other movie, right? Like I know these people and I know that they're actors,
right?
Whereas
contractually they won't die because they're
well, no, but it's not even that. You just you instantly know that it's fake. You're able to lose yourself into this all could be real because you associate these people with these are actors.
Sure.
Right? Whereas if you're watching a scary film, particularly a film with this sort of subject matter, and it's a lot of people you don't recognize, you've never seen in anything else, I think it makes it scarier because you're like, it's not Tom Cruise who's, playing the Pope. You go, this guy could be the Pope. Right? He seems...
I've never met the Pope.
He seems popey to me.
He seems like a popey person to me.
Yeah.
That guy looks like a cardinal. I've never met a cardinal.
But the real Oscar winner of this film, my hat's off, holy crap, what an acting job, is the kid that plays Henry. Because although he's in prosthetics and he's in, whatever else, this kid actor sells that he has a demon in him.
Yeah. I'll give you that. I didn't like the prosthetics. I thought the prosthetics looked janky, but...
Towards the end, when they had like the full... Yeah. Earlier on, when he sort of just doesn't quite look like himself,
that doesn't even look like prosthetic. That looks just like good makeup work. But when they start like really big in the big baggy eyes and the
contorted cheekbone.
It's like, it's... Wait, who's your makeup artist? Because fire him.
So it is a low budget film.
Yeah.
It was made. Did I see 18 million? I think it's 18 million.
Fire Russell Crowe and get somebody cheaper.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think you can do that. You need because this isn't a a true horror, I think you need an
A-lister.
An A-lister to play your protagonist, because short of having a cape, it's a superhero film almost.
I don't. What?
Hey,
How's it a superhero film?
It's got his origin story. It's got
what? So it was made for $18 million, and the box office was 77. So it was profitable, but it wasn't like this wasn't a massive payday for everyone. They have greenlit a sequel.
Okay.
In April 2023, a sequel was announced to be in early development. Crowe is expected to reprise his role. In May 2024, The Pope's Exorcist 2 was greenlit, but no cast have yet to confirm their return.
Okay.
But I mean, it seems pretty obvious that, yeah, this is going to be at least one more film where Father Thomas and Father Amorth go off and find another one of these landing sites, and they up the stakes and they make it creepier, and they, do whatever they need to do. There's a picture of the real guy.
He's bald. He doesn't look anything like Kurt Russell. He doesn't even have a beard.
Kurt Russell.
Not Kurt Russell.
Russell Crowe?
Russell Crowe.
So this is a picture of Father Amorth in 2013. The film we watched was set in 1987. So a lot can change.
Pull up a picture of him in 87. Just his name in 87. Yes, there's a picture.
Well, I'm just going to do 1980s.
Sure.
1980s. I don't know if there's going to be one.
It's just some random picture of some dude. Oh, yeah. Kind of looks like him. It's not him at all.
Oh, there. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. There he is. Yeah. I mean.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. He looks just like Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
It's actually Russell Crowe. He's showing me a picture of Russell Crowe. He looks just like Russell Crowe.
Looks just like him.
He thinks I'm stupid. I'm not that stupid. Yeah. It's a great. It's even in black and white.
I mean,
it's not in black and white. It's in color.
You're a little stupid. No, there's no older pictures of him, which I mean, kind of, I guess, makes sense. I don't know that there would be.
They don't do an annual work party photo at the Vatican.
Is The Pope's Exorcist based on a true story? Not exactly. While it was inspired by a real person and his work as an exorcist, the movie doesn't depict any specific cases that the real Father Gabriel Amorth focused on. Instead, the filmmakers took bits and pieces from Father Amorth's notes and memoirs and used them to inspire the entirely fictional storyline around which the movie unfolds. In this way, it is similar to the Conjuring series, especially some of the spin-offs that followed the 2013 horror hit. It's not to say The Pope's Exorcist doesn't reference a few actual historical events, as we'll detail below, but even the way it describes those events is significantly fictionalized to the movie's narrative. How many exorcisms? We learned, while conducting the Pope's Exorcist fact check, we learned that Father Gabriel Amorth claimed to have performed more than 70,000 exorcisms. He carried out many of these exorcisms on the same individuals, as it almost always requires multiple exorcisms to cast out a demon. A person can also be possessed more than once.
I wonder if he ever met the people from The Conjuring. What are their names?
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah. You think they ever met? Shook hands?
I don't know. That'd be cool, though. Eh? That's the crossover film we need.
Yeah. Shook hands and is like, good work. You do good work. I like your work. Big fan.
Yeah. Most cases, blah, blah, blah. Did the real ride a scooter, wear red socks, and enjoy pop music? No. It sounds like that is a yeah. Was the suicide death of Rosaria in the movie in order, blah, 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 confess father to be partially responsible for the suicide of a young girl. Okay, so that was sort of based in some reality. Yes, he did fight in World War II. The abbey in the film never actually existed.
That's nice to know.
Was the Spanish Inquisition undertaken at the behest of a master exorcist who had himself become possessed by a demon? I mean, I'm guessing they're going to say, who knows? The Spanish Inquisition was a tribunal established in 1478 by the Catholic monarchy in Spain to identify and prosecute heretics. It began as a way to ensure citizens had converted from Judaism and Islam to Catholicism, and that they were upholding the tenets of their new faith. Many were forced to convert or faced expulsion. Heresy was considered to be a crime against the state since the authority of the monarchy was believed to come from God. It's true that the Inquisition also punished those who were believed to be witches or devil worshippers, but only 11 people accused of witchcraft were ever put to death, not thousands. The Spanish Inquisition was not the first of its kind, blah, 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 according to the film. Convinced Queen Isabella, blah, blah, blah. In researching how accurate the Pope Exorcist, it is not surprising to learn that the explanation for how the Spanish Inquisition began does not line up with the perspectives of historians. Yeah, so, I mean, but I did like that. I thought that was a fun element of the film that, like, you know, a lot of the really negative shit in the church's past was because the guy responsible for it had to been possessed, right? I mean, there's a part of me that wishes that was true because this, you know, again, you want to talk about corruption and bullshit in the church, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the darkest things to ever happen in history have been done in the name of God. And you're like, right? Wasn't Hitler a church guy?
I mean, a believer, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'd be hard pressed to say that the church did what Hitler did. They pushed Hitler to do that. Like,
no, I'm not. Yeah, but I mean, what was?
I don't think that's what you're saying.
What was Hitler's motivation for his hatred of Jews?
I'm not a historian.
Me neither. But you would think there's probably
there's a few
some
things that did it, but I don't
right.
know,
But there's got to be some like they don't believe, right? Like they're part of the wrong religion. Like he was on his own crusade in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there anything you didn't like? Really liked?
I mean, the CG stuff, the practical effects. Yeah, it felt low budget in areas. It obviously was a low budget film.
Yeah.
So that tracks.
Do you want a sequel?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting story. Honestly, I'm ready to go. If you are, I don't know. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm falling asleep in my chair.
We're only an hour in. We're
what?
like, we're
Really?
we're under the length of a normal episode.
Wow. All that Bible talk wore me out.
Yeah. All right, you ready to score it?
I don't have much else to say about it. It was a fun story.
This is a weird review.
I know.
You ready?
Half of it wasn't even talking about the film.
You ready to score this thing then?
Yeah, sure.
You know what'll wake Carl up? He always gets excited talking about what he watched.
I didn't watch anything.
Not a damn thing? Yeah,
no,
you
I
did.
watched two things.
All right, hang on. The Pope's Exorcist. So on a scale of 0 to 10,
What would you give it, sir?
I'm going to give it an 8.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's yeah, not without its flaws, obviously. But I think it's fun. There's some almost laugh out loud moments, like some of the little quips, and they don't beat around the bush about that at all. They let you know very early on who his character is, right?
Well,
when he's in the Vatican and they're looking at this painting, and the one bishop or cardinal or whatever says like, oh, this blah 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 blah, and Russell Crowe's character in the Vatican just looks at him and goes, no shit. Right? And you're like, okay, all right, he's got some spunk.
And he's got a reason for his humor too, we find out, right? Like the
devil doesn't like jokes.
Yeah, devil and demons do not joke. So
yeah, they don't like jokes. So he's a jokey guy.
I joke around that way.
Yeah.
I can get some solid ground when I'm fighting.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. I got to give it an 8. What say you on a scale of 0 to 10?
Well, I'm not far off of you. I think I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
Fun film, cool premise, kind of a fun little mystery unraveling.
You dropped my score, you bastard.
Solving stuff. Film, like I said, it's kind of got that National Treasure Da Vinci Code vibe where they're unraveling the mysteries of the past.
Things hidden underground, stuff locked behind sealed walls.
So yeah, it was fun. But again, like you said, it's got a few issues, but
when that girl explodes,
horrible.
When the demon explodes,
that was turns into a red mist.
Whoa.
I was not expecting that.
All right. So just updating the scores, your overall is a 6.7, mine's a 7.7. And I still haven't eaten steak.
Yeah, well,
it's been 3 weeks.
Eat my shoe.
No, that's not. If that's the quality of steak you're feeding me, is your shoe. Your shoe that probably doesn't have any actual leather even in it. There's no animal products. It's all just plastic and crap.
Yeah, well.
What'd you watch this week?
Finished Black Mirror.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. No wonder you're tired.
I was up late last night working on miniatures. Anyway.
Being an artiste.
Yes. The third, it's not the third season. This most recent season.
Yeah.
It like all of them are like great stories, really good kind of top tier Black Mirror episodes.
Yeah.
But really, it's the first one that hits in the season that hit the hardest. The rest of them, while still good, are not. They don't nearly have the same gut punch that a lot of Black Mirror episodes are known for. Which
is kind of what you want. Go as uncomfortable. Yeah. Like you kind of watch an episode of Black Mirror and you're like, I want to not like this. I want to. I want to turn it off and go. I feel a little unhappy.
They all make you feel something.
Yeah.
Very deeply. Either unhappy, unsure,
unsettled.
One of them makes you feel really sad and like kind of mourning for this one main character.
Right.
The last episode is actually a kind of a sequel to an episode in a previous season, which was fun. But yeah, so they all make you kind of feel something. I kind of like how like the first episode hits the hardest. Okay. And then the rest of the episodes, even though they don't hit as hard, because that first episode just was like made you feel so uncomfortable, you're on edge every time you hit play.
Right.
You're like, oh man, what are we getting into? Oh, I don't know.
Doesn't that feel like you're just chasing the high?
A little bit, but because it's giving you something different every time, like you're it's almost like each episode they're chasing a different emotion,
right?
And trying to chase that, make you feel that different emotion deeply.
Okay,
which is so, yeah. It's like you're kind of wanting that same high, but you're getting something different every time, so it satisfies.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it was good. And then, of course, because we're watching Black Mirror, we follow it up with something fun.
What's that?
Which is 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So There are 8 episodes, and we just finished the 6th one last night. So that's it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
No family movie night.
No, there was stuff going on the weekend that prevented family movie night from happening.
Right. You were down in the city for something.
On Saturday I was, yeah. I can't remember what happened Friday.
You were down in the city Friday too, or somewhere.
Was I?
Yeah. I think so. Because then you showed up at my place afterwards. You came to a fire.
Oh, that's why we didn't do family movie night Friday. Yeah, something, I don't know.
Because your wife was like, you're like, I don't want to go to Brady's fire. And your wife was like,
it was just a long day.
Your wife's like, well, I'm going. And you're like, well, you can't go if I don't go.
Yeah.
Which is the most like bullshit thing I've ever heard. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course she can. We'd rather have her.
See too much of me as it is.
Yeah.
And what'd you watch?
We watched some more Andor. We have
Nice.
3 episodes left to go in the first season, which I guess means we have seen 9 in total, because there's 12. Because, not only can shows nowadays not make up their mind on the length of a season, but they also, like, if network television came back, showrunners today would be absolutely screwed. Because they'd be like, what do you mean it's got to be exactly 42 minutes every time? Like, I can't do one episode that's 38 minutes and then another
that's... show more commercials?
Yeah, I can't do another that's 52. Like, what do you mean I don't have, like, what?
Just show less commercials or show more commercials.
Yeah, it's so wild.
Fill the time for me.
It's so wild. All of a sudden, there's like, oh, it's a 28-minute episode. Well, the last one was an hour and 10. And you're like, learn to friggin' space this out. Pace this better. What are you doing?
Oh, man.
So we watched that, and then I watched an iconic film, a classic film, an absolutely wonderful film.
Is this one you showed your mom?
No. No. My brother-in-law came over, and he is a very big Dirty Dancing fan.
Oh.
His words, not mine. He's autistic about Dirty Dancing.
He's not autistic, but he's autistic about Dirty
Dancing.
He's
autistic about Dirty Dancing. He's just, he absolutely loves it.
Okay.
His words, not mine. I'm taking no credit for but he had never seen Ghost. And I was like, oh, you're gonna sing the praises of Patrick Swayze because you've seen Dirty Dancing, but you've never seen Ghost? And so he came over, we watched Ghost. It was delightful. Such a good movie. Makes me tear up a little bit every time. You've seen Ghost.
Is that the one with like the pottery
scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, everyone's seen Ghost. And Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so damn good. And tomorrow night, I have some fun. Tomorrow, I'm going to get messed up tomorrow night because my sisters are coming over. They made plans with Brienne that I have kind of gotten, not roped into, but just like, they weren't really my plans, but I just kind of became a part of the plans.
Here and you're here.
And so they're going to come over and watch Twilight.
Oh, fun.
And apparently the rule of the night is every time the movie makes you cringe, you take a drink.
Oh, you're going to be passed out in the corner.
So I won't know who I am. I will have pissed my pants. And I may end up in the hospital because
alcohol poisoning.
I don't know how. Listen, honestly, I mean, I know you haven't seen the Twilight films. I think I could make, I kind of like the first one. I think I could mostly make it through the first one without too much trouble. But the second, third, and fourth, not a chance. It gets so bad. It gets so bad. At some point, I'll show them all to you.
Oh, yay.
Oh, okay. We'll have fun. We'll have fun ripping into it.
Okay.
We can talk about, are you Team Edward? Are you Team Jacob? You'd be like, I'm Team Carl.
I'm Team Bullet to my own head.
Whoa. They're really not that bad.
We'll see.
Thank you for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter listed down below. We have a Patreon page where you can support the show, get some fun perks in return, help keep the lights on. You know what Carl's going to do this weekend?
Sleep.
Submit like the 4 Patreon posts that he owes. And then he was like, oh, yeah, I'll do it.
Oh man, I got other work.
Just throw something together. So you were going to do, what was the thing you were going to do?
That's so much work.
It was something similar to
I'm not going to remind you.
What was it?
No,
come on. It had something to do with aliens?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to
It
do?
was like the xenomorph biology tree or something like that.
Yeah. Come on. You'll have fun doing that.
Maybe.
Get it together. And send it to Pete. And we have merch.
Moich. We should get life-size Brady pillows.
Like that look and are like my dimensions? Like a cardboard cutout of me, but it's a pillow? Why? Why do you want that? You're that tired? You're that tired that you want to lay your head on me?
Yes.
You want to go home, get into bed with your wife, but between you and your wife will be a life-sized, anatomically correct in all aspects.
Nobody said a pillow is not anatomically correct. A pillow is a big rectangle.
Oh, so just my size.
Yeah.
So just my height.
A body, yeah.
You just want a 5'7" pillow.
Yeah. I just want a big pillow. I'm tired.
I'm worried about you.
You look like a pillow right now.
I'm worried about you.